Hello and welcome to this day's webinar hosted here at Heartpace. And Heartpace is an HR and HRM system that is digitalized and also cloud-based. And my name is Erica Drakenberg, and today's webinar is the Champion Approach, led by Anna Bergstrand. And Anna, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. First of all, hi everybody. Thank you for inviting me a second time to do this in English, I'm thrilled to be here. I work with change. I'm into change in one way or the other. So over the course of the past 20 years, I've been working either in managerial positions or as an executive coach, leadership development, advisory for change, all kinds of change.
Mm-hmm. And so tell us, what is the Champion Approach, Anna?
Yeah, what is the Champion Approach? The Champion Approach is, it's a mindset, it's an attitude, it's a way of viewing your coworkers as champions. You actively choose to champion them. And it's a way of viewing your coworkers as the human being that they are, naturally creative, resourceful, nobody's wrong, nothing's wrong, and fully capable people, and also yourself, actually. So it's about holding other people in high esteem.
Yeah. And where does it come from?
It comes actually originally from sports psychology. In the 60s, when sports psychology and coaching in sports was so successful that in the 60s this started transferring over to the business world, from the athletic fields to the business world, with goals and achievements, activities. That's where it comes from, and in this sense, it's got to do with who somebody is, not what they do, not how they do it, not the quality of work delivered, not the behavior. It's only about who you are as a human being. So it's about the human being and not the human doing.
And what is the purpose with this approach?
The purpose of this approach is to really, as managers in your daily work, to simplify your everyday work and to improve your relationships, to actually this is like a set of core values that you always remain grounded on. This is the way, this is the place that I operate from as a manager. This is what I've chosen to remain grounded in.
And it does it also mean, thinking about the opposite of what that would be, wouldn't it be like the manager questioning his employees almost and discouraging, almost not believing?
Yeah, exactly. It's about believing in your coworkers, in their full capability. So when you actively choose to systemize this, actually these values, you create it's easier for you to create this psychological safety within the workspace, which we all know is so important for people to really be able to flourish in. That you can actually, you can blossom as a coworker, and you can feel safe. You're okay, I'm okay, and I know as a coworker, as your coworker, I know that you will always champion me no matter what I do or how I behave. So it's of course we can't. We all mess up every now and then. This is natural, and I think anything else would not be natural. And it's even something that distinguishes really, really successful corporations from other less successful corporations, that you feel safe and then you can dare more for the sake of the business.
Absolutely. An example of this is the Superbowl, where the two-star athletes, was it Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they felt undermined. They didn't feel that valued in their current team from the New England Patriots, so they left to go to the underdog, Tampa Bay. And after having won 6 years in a row, the New England Patriots, they actually lost that year to Tampa Bay, who won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They didn't feel valued by their coach, so they took off. And the consequences were, the cost was quite high. And this is such a great example because when we look at sports, it's quite natural for us to see that, first of all, the athlete believes in his or her capability to actually go ahead and do this to win. And even though we might not talk about competition and winning in terms of business, it's about, believing in your own capability, that you have it in you, that you could do it. And also, the opposite is I think we're quite used to thinking and seeing that, of course, the coaches that we see on TV, they believe in their athletes.
Yeah.
And the example that you brought up is so good because it shows what can happen when you don't. Of course, we want to be valued.
So how do you apply this to your organization?
You apply it by actively choosing it. You choose this mindset. You choose to, the next meeting, next meeting you're heading into, actively choose to regard whoever it is that you're meeting. You're regarding them as champions. You champion them, and no matter what happens, you champion them, and you notice the difference. You notice your own thoughts and emotions. You notice pay attention to what happens in the meeting, the ambience, how other people behave in the meeting. In one training, I've done a lot of leadership programs, and every time I work with groups or individuals, I ask them, to what extent do you champion your coworkers? On a scale 1 to 10, to what extent do you really champion them? And up until today, it's never happened that a whole room raises their hand saying that, I see all my coworkers as true champions. Maybe you have a few. Maybe you have a few that you champion. But this is really about granting this mindset to all and noticing what happens. And I had a manager in a training once that this manager had to leave the training for one of those meetings that you sincerely do not look forward to. And it had to take place. So I asked this manager before she left, I asked her, could you please try this mindset as you go into that meeting? And she's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. She took off for a few hours, and then she came back, and the meeting she was much more at ease. She was much more comfortable in the meeting. And also, when you're more comfortable, you also grant other people around you to be more comfortable. So the meeting the output was much, much better. The whole meeting was better because this manager relaxed and had kinder eyes on the people, the other people in the room. Because that's also, the benefit of this is also that you have this solid platform that you operate from. You give people the opportunity to grow, to develop, to push their own boundaries or limits. And you create this psychological safety, and we function better in that. And in that sense, it's not rocket science. The rocket science lies within really applying this all of the time.
Are there any other obstacles? Or that's a pretty big one. But
it's a smooth path. No, of course there are obstacles. Some I've met skepticism over the years. I don't believe in this. I've heard, and people think it's too easy. Don't fool yourself into believing that this is too easy. It can't work. Sometimes if I don't hold myself in high enough esteem, it could become difficult to hold you in high enough esteem. So there's actually a lot of course there's skepticism. And this one, there's a certainty that we know it all already. There's nothing new to apply.
I don't need to learn anything.
And the thing is, we miss out on development. When we go down that road, we miss out on development. So try it on.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. This is your time.
Do you have any recommendations for someone who would like to try this?
Yep. And then I'd like to say that, just try it on. Just choose to apply this mindset in your next meeting, wherever that meeting takes place. Trust the process, the effects. My experience is that the effects will come. You will notice that your leadership creates greater output. Because when you do this, you also have this, you raise engagement levels. If I always feel that you value me as your coworker, I'm more prone to wanting to deliver for the best for the business, for the best of myself, for the best of the team. It's much more fun. It's much more fun this way. And I think as managers today, there's so much noise. There's so much going on all the time. We have plenty of research today, which is fantastic. And there's lots to learn from. One of the things that can happen when there is a lot of noise, when there is a lot of new research, new tools, we can feel overwhelmed. And we get stuck. And it's like, it's just too much, all of it. I'm going to keep doing what I've always done. And yep, you might get the same results that you've always gotten also. So, and in that reality, we need to choose and apply methods that are sort of easy to apply, demands little effort of you, but in turn gives you a lot of output, considerable output, little effort, great output. And I know also that when I say this, I know that this is not always so easy to apply. For some people, it's very challenging. But my recommendation is that you try it on. You try it on and you notice the difference. That's really what I'd like to, because it will create good things for the business, for yourself. You don't walk around wasting energy and time on constantly valuing people. It's like you and I, Erica and I recently met for the first time. And imagine if I would have come in, the first time we meet, and I got this like, Erica.
This assumption, exception, or assumption.
Maybe she's like an 8 on a 10 grade scale. It just it adds something which is not fruitful. Whereas in terms, if you apply this, we start off at a great place. And that's where we keep working from. And there's, like I said before, it's I've also used this. I've been very, very open and very clear. For example, when I've in a managerial position, when I've had to hand out a written warning in that meeting, I've been very clear from the very beginning that, this is not about who you are as a person. It's about what you've done and how you've done it and the consequences of that. But you as a person, Perfect. Your actions, that's another thing. And this distinction is really important. The human being versus the human doing.
Great. Yeah, and you can assist in this should anyone want to try it in your organization. Yes, you even have a special offer.
There's a special offer, limited time.
Yeah.
So please check it out in the handout that you will receive after this.
And so I say thank you, Anna, right? So is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, there's actually one thing.
There's one
thing that we forgot to say.
Yes.
And this is about when you try this on, it doesn't matter where you apply it.
Yeah.
You know, you can apply it with people you meet in private. It's, somebody bumps into you in the street, which right now is a little bit worse than normal. The bus driver, the person who you felt didn't see you this morning at the meeting, or somebody that didn't say hi, and you start speculating and, your mind goes off. Just apply this, see what it does for you. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, private or workplace.
And who doesn't want to live in a world filled with champions?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to you listeners. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.